Welcome to Wrestling Ruined Our Marriage Season 1, Episode number 3. I am Tanner, here with my wife and lovely co-host, Kemi.
Hi.
So, I think we're getting close to SummerSlam. Saturday, SummerSlam Day today.
Yeah.
So, let's do a little bit.
I'm excited. I still didn't get us wings, though.
You what?
I didn't get us wings.
You didn't get us wings.
Yep.
Yeah, we probably got to get those. So, today's SummerSlam, plus we got to review SmackDown. We just did a quick Raw one. Again, everything was overshadowed by CM Punk, who crashed the internet. I think he came out at 8 o'clock here, my time, right?
We're Mountain Time.
So 8 o'clock Mountain Time he came out. The shirt that he had on was probably, aired around 8:05, 8:10. I was on the internet trying to buy one within, 2 minutes of him unveiling the shirt. I did not get that thing in my cart because he crashed AEW's website. He crashed Pro T's websites. He crashed all these websites. I couldn't get into the cart till almost midnight.
Did you finally get in, though?
I finally got it.
Did you buy one?
Yeah, there was a lot of people. I was on...
Did you buy me one?
No. I didn't know you were living that punk life with me. Maybe
This is
Alexa
why our
Bliss.
marriage sucks.
So... I got on there, was able to get in the car. I was playing on Twitter at the same time, just trying to see if anybody else had any luck getting it. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that were able to finally get it, but, at midnight on Twitter, I was one of the few success stories that after 4-ish hours finally got him in the cart. Was pretty happy about that. I had one when he was back in WWE, which was almost the exact same shirt. I wore that thing quite a bit and finally wore it out.
You even bought our dog a leash that was CM Punk.
Look like that with the Thunderbolts.
Yeah, for a
like
cute
those
little
Thunderbolts
boxer
right
dog. May he rest in peace.
Kind of look at that. That's like the same little fist that's on there. Some lightning bolts.
Yeah.
Just kind of rocking them too. So, everything got overshadowed by Mr. CM Punk, but we will really quick touch up on SmackDown, and I think we should combine it with kind of some of SummerSlam and what we think going into it. Let's do this as a combo show just so we can get everything online before SummerSlam actually starts.
For sure.
So, SmackDown starts, killer promo by Edge. He comes out there, says he's going to be, taken to this dark place. I don't know. Edge's skull, man, you can kind of see his lines. You could see his outline of his... It's kind of a weird
I was
face.
telling you yesterday, I'm like, he looks like if he had one of those crazy white wigs... He looks he would be the guy from Back to the Future that would be like, "Come on, Marty, we gotta go!"
I feel like his
eyes are very big now.
I mean, he's in good shape. I think he's in good shape. Looks pretty ripped, but man, he has to have very little fat in there. That was one big takeaway I had. But his promo's killer. He says, you brought me back to this dark place. I love this dark place. He's getting all evil looking on there. Great promo to start the show. Yeah. Great way to suck everybody in and keep their attention.
On Twitter, it was kind of funny. I follow this CUK Wrestling. He's really quite knowledgeable.
Cuck Wrestling.
You can't say that.
That's what it is. Cuck. C-U-K.
C is in C, then UK is in England.
Yeah. Cuck Wrestling.
Anyway... I really enjoy him.
That stuff's going to be banned on OnlyFans soon.
I really enjoy him. I think he's really cool. But I think he had tweeted out, "Come on, Vince, turn on the lights," or something. I thought it was kind of funny.
He's going to burn Rollins down. So, I'm going to stay with this theme. I don't... As you can tell, I really don't go in order on any of these shows. I got to get better at the outline. But let's just finish off the whole Edge and Seth for the entire show first, because that's probably the biggest. That's one of the biggest parts of the show. SmackDown definitely has a couple other good storylines going on as well, but let's get all the way through that. So he cuts the killer promo. Seth Rollins comes out looking fly in his suit. All of a sudden the lights turn off, and
suits are cool.
Yeah, he's got some nice ones on there. So lights cut off, and old Brood light comes on.
Nice. How many people thought for sure when they saw the red light that it was the Fiend? Because I was like, "Oh yeah," and then I was like, "Oh no, I was wrong."
You could tell by the blinking it was going to be the Brood, but you said you weren't really big on when the Brood came out, right?
Yeah.
So for those that don't know,
the Fiend.
If you're watching this, you probably are a big enough fan that you were knowledgeable about the Brood, Gangrel, and all that stuff. I wonder if they're going to bring him back. I've seen his name kind of pop up a little bit more and more online. He's done a couple interviews. He still's got the fangs on. He has a little bit of a hard time talking with it. But he'll be a cool character. Be kind of cool if maybe, he made an appearance. I don't think he's good enough or in shape enough, I don't know, to pull a full-time role. I don't know that Edge necessarily needs somebody in his corner or talking for him. He does pretty good on his promos by himself, and he can put on some decent matches. But it'd be pretty cool to see the old, Gangrel throwback drop in whatever substance. It used to be kind of more of a, it's a black substance on this one, but I thought it used to be more of like a blood look on there when it came out.
I just pulled up a picture of him.
Yeah, I think there's a difference to being...
Yeah, I don't know if you
I think there's a difference to being in shape, like, muscular in shape, and a difference to full-on wrestling shape. Obviously, there's a big difference on there. Goldberg is in great shape. He tears himself up every time he wrestles. I think there's a big difference on there. So, I'm not saying he can't do it. You got Sting still kind of doing his thing as well. Somewhat doing his thing. They're pretty careful with how they set him up.
Yeah.
But even for him just to come down in the corner and kind of help out would be kind of a cool storyline setup.
I like him with Darby Allin, though. Sting.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Cool. So, that's going to be a great storyline. That is going to be a killer match tonight at SummerSlam. How do you think that plays out?
I think it's going to be really cool. I'm thinking Edge might take it. I hope so.
You would think, like, I don't know that I necessarily hope so.
I hope so.
We'll see how long they can carry the storyline from, but you would think they were going to give Edge something. He's taken quite a few losses. He probably he's probably overdue for a victory, and bringing him back in this evil, Brood character, I think it's going to be a cool storyline. It'll be good for it, and especially since they've, terminated other characters on different wrestling shows that have a little bit of a darker side.
Don't even get me started. I could go on and on and on about that, okay?
Maybe this is their way to, pull some of that over there, and then we'll see what other characters they develop at the same time.
I'm still pissed.
Yeah. We'll see what they end up doing. Supposedly, we'll touch on that for 2 seconds and move on, but she's like hope wishing on Google, and supposedly, Bray Wyatt's gonna be
on Twitter, and I'm on like everything. Oh, Bray Wyatt's tweeting this out, so I think he's making a comeback tonight. He's appearing at SummerSlam.
Yeah, we'll see. He'll appear and get beat by Goldberg, and
I hope not.
They'll squash him by somebody else, just like they keep doing.
I hope not. Well, so he did get on, and he changed his Twitter name to Wyndham. You can still see the handle as WWE Bray Wyatt, but I don't know. I know a long time ago on his Instagram he had like Cult of Wyndham coming soon, so I wonder if it's like a character change. But I don't know. I'm just holding out hope because I really liked his character.
Quick touch on that too. So back to CM Punk. How crazy is it? You have, Daniel Bryan would have to leave and he'd have to change his name. Malachi Black still kind of has the same type of thing, but he keeps through, Ring of Honor, I believe TNA over there. I think it was on that as well. WWE, and all the different things now. AEW. He's kept CM Punk. He's pretty much kept the same branding on there, and he's kept his song. Obviously they have to pay rights for Cult of Personality, but there was an interview a while back. They were talking to different people that have left WWE and how long WWE holds the rights to not just their their wrestling names, but a lot of times their actual names if they're coming in as their actual name too. And they hold the rights to like their Twitter handles. They hold the rights to all these different things.
I know what they said. It takes a while for the Twitter handle to be changed. I am just really hoping that.
Okay, so that's besides the point. You have CM Punk who goes through all these venues, and this guy must be great at, or if he had an agent, but to be able to set it up and have the foresight enough to be able to say, okay, look, my name is mine, my music is mine. There's basically everything that he had was his, and even when he left a lot of the other companies, if you like, as I'm researching some of it, when he left. Ring of Honor, when he left the other companies on there, a lot of the stuff from his merchandise still went over to him. It goes to a lot of other people too, but for him to set himself up so he gets to keep his name, keep his branding, keep everything, it was pretty brilliant by that guy. That's one big
smart.
takeaway that's kind of it's part of wrestling, but it's more on the business side of wrestling right there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that had to, go over and change their names when they transfer different companies, and they have to change their music, and they have to change everything. Yeah. You can't use Y2J anymore because it's owned by wrestling, but you can still keep the Chris Jericho type stuff, right? It's owned by WWE.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So for him to be able to...
It's owned by WWE.
Yeah. And so you have to... I just think it's pretty great, however you set up the contract to be able to keep all the stuff.
Yeah.
Back over to SmackDown. We'll fly through a couple of these, and we'll touch on all the matches at the SummerSlam again. So on SmackDown, you had Rey Mysterio versus Jey Uso.
Yeah.
And
the Usos won.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, the big setup on there was, Rey keep telling Dominic, you have to do things this way, and Dominic being like, yeah, I already do it that way, Dad. Whatever you say, I'm out of here. The biggest storyline of that match was Dominic jumps up onto the ring, tries to put the feet on the back to help Rey win the pin, and he gets caught, gets kicked out. As he's getting ready to get kicked out, Rey comes outside to, give him fatherly / mentoring advice. They both get beat up, and Rey Mysterio loses, and then they get back in the ring. So,
cheaters never prosper.
Well, I still think on this one, I don't know. Does Rey want the big last match? I don't even know if he's ready to retire. He's still a pretty good performer. Yep. Does he want his big last match to be with Dominic? It seems like to me, if I'm reading the storylines on there, it seems like Dominic's going to eventually turn and do something to screw over Rey to become his own man. And eventually they're going to have to do that. They can, but they shouldn't be keeping this character for Dominic always as...
I'm sorry.
As I'm trying to, live up to my dad. They're eventually going to have to pull him out like they do everybody else, just like Seth Rollins pulling away from the Shield. He has to turn him to create his own guy and his own character and be a bad guy, be a good guy, whatever.
How hard is that, though, in WWE to be able to create your own character?
So they're eventually going to have to move in. It seems like that's the route they're going to go. I imagine, my thoughts are Usos probably win. And I think the Usos will win and retain the championships because Dominic does something. Either he makes a massive mistake that Rey's upset about, or he finally turns on Rey in some capacity. I think that Usos retain because Dominic and Rey are going to start some kind of feud.
I'm sorry. I keep yawning. I'm tired today. It's hot and I'm tired.
So, your thoughts on the match?
Yeah, I think they're setting up. I think it would be kind of cool to see Rey versus Dominic one day. So I do think they are setting it up that way. But I don't know. I guess we'll see tonight at SummerSlam. I think that, the Usos are probably going to retain. I agree with you on that one.
So Usos retain and just like a clean win, or what do you think?
I don't think it's going to be a clean win. I think it's either the Usos or the Mysterios are going to cheat. I kind of have a feeling, based off of how they're setting it up with Dominic cheating in the last match, that's kind of what's going to happen. So, we'll see.
See how that ends up playing out?
Yeah.
All right, the next big part on there, Baron Corbin.
Poor Baron Corbin.
He's walking down, bear hugging the Money in the Bank suitcase like it's my precious little ring over there. And gets to the ring. He has the match versus Mr. Kevin Owens.
Love Kevin Owens.
I do too.
I think it is amazing how he just kind of throws himself around. So cool.
Yeah, I feel like different characters, different levels of, let's see, athleticism or something along those lines, and different body builds.
Yeah.
I feel like he's kind of the... Seth Rollins, as well, but I feel like Kevin Owens is almost like the Jeff Hardy of this time. He's willing to jump off of anything, go through a table every week.
He does some crazy stuff for sure.
He's definitely a crazy daredevil, and every week just the moves he pulls off, I'm like, how is he not injured all the time? Because, most people with his body type, his size, his everything, just throwing their body around. Even the young guys, they don't do half the table stuff that he does.
Yeah.
Kind of crazy. So it's him versus Baron Corbin. Is that one of the matches? Let's see here.
No, I don't think so. I don't even think.
Who is Kevin Owens fighting at SummerSlam?
I don't think Kevin Owens is.
He's not on the main card. They got to have something with him there.
Maybe he's on the pre-show.
I hope he ends up making it on the
I don't know. He should always be on the show, though, I think, because he's So entertaining to watch.
And Big E doesn't have a match yet either, right?
No.
So no Big E. We're going to have to pull up the whole card. This is...
I have the card right here. Like I wrote down.
You don't see anything on there.
Mm-mm.
They are failing. They need to get him on the card. So you have Kevin Owens, and he's fighting Mr. Baron Corbin. In the middle of the match, Big E comes out, grabs his Money in the Bank briefcase, and he gets ready to take off. Corbin jumps him from behind, gets the briefcase, and runs out of town. So we'll get into one of my spoilers later, but they might have just killed one of my spoilers, or predictions, I guess. I wanted Big E to cash in on Bobby Lashley tonight at SummerSlam. I don't
think he's going to.
Yeah,
it would be cool if he did, but
is Corbin going to try and cash in, and then Bobby Lashley runs down, beats him up, and then he cashes in? I don't know how this is going to play out. We'll get into a little bit more of that in a second, but I was hoping Big E would cash in. Baron Corbin escapes with the briefcase.
He grabbed it from underneath the ring and then took off. And
he jets out of there.
Poor Big E. He runs in, bulldozes him, and
man, that guy. I don't know. He's built a little bit different.
he's thick.
I wish.
He's thick.
I don't like I'm not a fan of the girl jeans, anyways. Skinny jeans, right? That guy, man, his legs are too big to fit in there. He looks kind of...
Isn't that like powerlifting legs?
Yeah,
he looks like he powerlifts, yeah.
Yeah, so he's got that. I mean,
he's
thick. That is a thick boy.
Yeah.
And he looks kind of goofy coming to the ring in
I
jeans.
Don't think so. I don't think so.
His legs are...
But his legs, he's got some great mass to him.
Yeah, he looks like he's wearing them yoga pants is what he look in jeans when he's walking in them skinny jeans. It looks like he's wearing yoga pants because his legs are so thick and fill him up, with thighs and everything. Anyways, Corbin takes off. He still has the briefcase. So thoughts on that? How's that going to play out? For one, we need a Kevin Owens match. I'm guessing they're going to somehow get Kevin Owens into the pay-per-view with Corbin on there. They've been pinning them together the last couple weeks. That's probably a match worth having. And Kevin Owens will do some crazy stuff on SummerSlam.
I'm not sure how they can really put him in, though. Like, I'm not seeing how. They
more
should.
More backstage stuff. So my theory, since you didn't jump onto yours, is...
I don't really have one.
Corbin shows up. You got to put one together. Corbin shows up, somehow decides he's going to try and cash in, and... Kevin Owens finds him in the background and beats him up. There's going to be some kind of background thing. If KO doesn't have a match, there'll be some kind of background thing with Corbin where he's interfering. Hopefully, Lashley gets the briefcase back by the end of the night, and he's able to... Yeah. Hopefully, Big E gets the briefcase back by the end of the night and is able to cash in on Lashley. But the other thing would be Corbin is probably going to be trying to run in multiple times during the night with the briefcase. You're going to have him probably trying to run in during the Goldberg-Lashley fight.
And maybe what they'll have him do is they'll have him go in, in the Goldberg-Lashley fight, and
then you have the Reigns.
Then Big E will come up and beat him up or something and take that opportunity. We'll see what happens. It would be cool if Big E did do that because
we had said in our... briefcase back first, though.
Yeah, well, we had said in our previous podcast episode that they need a character who's going to have some charisma, have some character to the character itself. So
everybody's already bought into Big E.
Yeah, everyone likes Big E.
On the Roman Reigns podcast, he was talking about different characters in the WWE, and that's on that Out of Character again, I believe. I should have probably looked that up before we started this, but I believe it was on Out of Character. And he was talking, and he said that he thinks he likes Big E. He's got the pull, but he says he thinks he needs to separate himself. He still has that New Day pull, and he feels that in order for Big E to be top dog in the WWE, in order to elevate himself to that, he has to completely remove himself from the New Day and be this. He has to be a different character. He got to the level that he's at because of them, and now he has to evolve beyond that. I was talking with Ariel Helwani.
For BT Report, or Sport.
BT Sport on there.
Yeah.
Ariel Helwani was, he was big on the UFC stuff, and they kind of moved on some of those as well.
Yeah.
He's bounced around a little bit right now. But anyways, BT Sport was one of the other interviews that he did.
That's the one he was talking about CM Punk, so
okay,
I'm assuming that's probably the same.
Well, he's been on that one. He's been on Out of Character. He's been on a few. So on one of the several that he's been on, he was talking about how big he needs to remove himself completely from New Day, create a little bit more of a character and become into a more of a dominant role. But I feel like a lot of the New Day was influenced by Big E, and that was kind of, I don't know, but I mean, he was the main guy doing the stuff while he's walking up the ring. He's the one that's dry humping the title belts, etc. So it's a lot of him too, but there is, to me, some validity to that.
Yeah.
Going on, next one, I don't like this at all, and we'll see how it pulls off, but we'll start off on SmackDown. Kayla Braxton interviews Bianca Belair, and Sasha's nowhere to be found tonight, right? She's gone. She's MIA. So instead,
can I just tell you how beautiful Bianca Belair is? Oh my gosh, I think she's just stunning. She's so pretty.
Standing next to Kayla Braxton, she looks like a 2.
What? Not even.
So, sitting with Kayla Braxton, Bianca now has matches against both Zelina Vega and Carmella. You want to know what's wrong with the women's division in wrestling? You have Zelina Vega and Carmella, both championship material, both crowd draws, and you squash them both for Bianca and Sasha, who can carry this storyline by themselves. Why do you squash them? Bring somebody in. We talked about it yesterday. That's where you bring Eva Marie in to be the little minion to beat people up. That's where you bring Doudrop in to go.
I think that's what they should have done, because it would have shown that Eva Marie can wrestle. There's a video circulating on Twitter of Eva Marie wrestling, and she doesn't do a horrible job. I don't understand why not do that. Like, why take in somebody who's already been trained, already can carry the storyline on their own.
You don't need these two.
You don't need them.
So, I mean, maybe it helps play into Sasha's, bad guy persona, her heel persona. She could have done that with anybody else. She didn't need those two, and I don't feel like you need to have both Carmella and Zelina squashed in the exact same night.
I
Go
agree.
squash Liv Morgan if you need to.
Leave Liv alone.
Every night. Let me live. See me live. I'm here on
wish
SmackDown.
they would bring her back.
They don't even bring her out. Like, she's on Twitter more than anybody, but they won't give her anything. Anyways, that's my big complaint about the Sasha. Same complaint I had last week. That's my complaint about Sasha and Bianca. They're both good enough, and they can carry the storyline by themselves. Bring some nobodies on if you have to, if you want to do that heel mentor with Sasha and push her. But stop squashing Carmella and Zelina Vega. They're good enough. Push them up. Make your women's division better.
Or add maybe a title belt to the women's division. They already have the women's tag team belt. Why not add an intercontinental belt for women? I think they should. Don't say anything.
I don't know how they're going to have anything with those.
I don't know. I think it gives more competition to the girls instead of using the same old over and over again. It gives more of a variety.
I agree.
The guys have the variety. How come the girls can't? Just saying.
I think you would need more TV time to be able to push
Yeah,
those.
so they should give it to the girls. Maybe. Let's hear it for the girls.
So for predictions on there, it can go either way. They probably want Bianca. She's probably, to me, her championship matches, her reign and everything has been more memorable than Sasha's. Yeah. I'm really bummed out that we did not get to see the Bayley-Bianca feud, because that would have been great. I think that would have helped push and elevate Bianca even more. Bayley's great at that.
Yeah.
But I think how this is going to go, I think Sasha's going to win, and I think it's going to be because of Carmella and Zelina, and they're going to have, I guess have a little threesome is not the best terminology to
Probably
put on
not.
there, but they're going to have, their little team up there where those three are going to try and dominate for a while. That's kind of where I see them going with that match.
I hope Bianca wins with her big old braided ponytail. I love that. I hope she wins, and I hope that they kind of...
You hope, but what do you think is going to happen?
I'm going with Bianca winning.
Okay.
And I hope that... And my prediction is
there we go.
is that Zelina Vega and Carmella are going to, be like, hey, turn their backs and just beat the crap out of Sasha.
Huh.
I don't know. Probably not going to happen that way, but I just really hope Bianca wins. I like her so much.
That'll work. Next one. This should be a match as well.
Well, what part of SmackDown are we on?
So we just barely finished up this. We're going on to the Shotzi. So I was trying to see if they had the women's championship match on there. I don't see it on this one. Like I said, we probably were missing some. I don't know if it's. This says it's the complete card, but there's got to be more than that. That's not enough hours of TV. Anyway, so Shotzi and Nox in the tank coming down.
Oh yeah, they went against.
And Natalya magically better, just out of nowhere, messed up her ankle, and bam, she's.
That was a quick recovery. It was like 3 weeks.
Yeah, I wonder if she.
I'm glad she's back. I think she's a good wrestler. She's a really good wrestler.
Meh. I wonder if she really had the surgery or not. They were saying on TV that she did, but that's a quick turnaround. And you think that they would like?
She posted a picture of like some X-rays, I think, of her.
But it was tendons, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
So like MRI style on stuff. But anyways, they said that she had a surgery. I don't know. You think that her boot would have been taped up? Pretty quick to make a return when I don't think that they needed to if she really had surgery. So are they trying to sell that storyline? I don't know, but I don't like any of them. You said that you like Natalya.
I do.
Her and Tamina.
Like her. I like Tamina too.
I don't like either of them. I never have.
Tamina has been around for so long. I'm glad to finally see that she's getting a push because
she should have been fired.
I disagree.
Why is she there? She has no personality.
I think that they could pull Tamina into this whole like family table thing because the Usos, Tamina, Roman Reigns, The Rock, they're all related. Nia Jax. I think they could easily pull that all in.
Yeah, I don't know.
They probably won't, but it's a thought.
Maybe. Same thing with Natalya.
The head of the table needs to have a finger in that division.
They're going to say she needs to have a finger in Tamina or something.
Shut up. God.
Where are you going with this? So, I think the exact opposite.
You're being a
I've never had... I don't know Tamina's character. I don't know the personality. She has zero personality to me on there. Never had a memorable match to me. Neither has Natalya. They've both been there for decades.
So I'm glad to finally see the push for Tamina. She never got that push before.
She's got a belt on her, but I don't know if they pushed her. Like, what are they doing?
She's got the belt. That's a good push.
Right. She's got the belt, but there's no storylines. There's nothing. There's zero character.
Well,
they don't interview her.
Add a storyline that's a little bit better than
she can't. The Miz can get more over with facial expressions than she can with doing an entire promo setup.
I don't know. I'm a fan of Tamina, so we'll just have to agree to disagree.
That's fine. So I think if you were gonna, keep the belts, the tag team belts, and that's part of where my argument would be on your intercontinental championship for the women's division. Nobody's held the belts that are doing anything. You kind of had the Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler as the champions. Nothing really happened there. They might give them the belts back again because what else?
I think they're gearing up for a breakup between the two. I mean, you had Nia Jax.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, say they do that. Like, what other? The closest people that you had was the Riot Squad, and you broke them up. In which. Okay, you broke them up, but
I love Ruby
now
Riott.
what tag teams do you have? You put these two together. They're not championship material. Nobody shows up with a Tamina sign. She's not selling tickets. She's not selling merchandise. You're not pushing her to sell merchandise. You put a belt on her,
Tamina.
And that's all you did. You're like, hey, thanks for your years of service and for being part of the family that has been here, but that's it. Natalya, the last person in the heart dungeon. Yeah, whatever. Zero character. She sucks. So, anyways, going back to that, I don't feel that much different about Shotzi and Nox. I mean, I think they were supposed to hit, I believe, the way it looked like it was supposed to be set up was the tank bullet was supposed to be hitting Tamina last week to be able to throw her off. They missed it by a mile. Maybe it wasn't supposed to be, but instead it was just a distraction where it flew by.
It was a scare shot.
Yeah, exactly. They're kind of all over. They don't look like they're fluid in the ring yet. I don't know. I never watched them at NXT. Not going to lie. Maybe they were great there. They just don't feel to me.
I think the tank is really cool that they come out in.
The tank is cool. Their outfits are cool. Kind of.
But I kind of feel like it's the Riot Squad,
Yeah, I think they got
why
rid of
break up them and then bring on these two? I think Ruby Riott was hands down a better wrestler.
Agreed. And that's where these two, I hope maybe they'll grow into it. They look to me like they are...
WWE, what you doing?
They look like to me they're too raw to be in the championship picture right now.
Yeah,
But the championship picture is kind of lame right now anyways. They need to do something better.
Do they even have a championship match for the I didn't see it.
That's what I was telling you. When I was looking over it, I was trying to see if we could, go into predictions on the match. But I'm not seeing anything on the championship match. If there was one, say there is, and maybe I'm missing it and it's not on here right now, and it might be on the pre-show or something like that.
We also would really love to hear your guys' thoughts on what's going to happen for SummerSlam.
Sure.
I would, even if he doesn't want to hear it.
I would imagine that Shotzi and Knox would probably win the belts because they're going to, they need to move them eventually. I don't know that that's going to do anything for your women's tag team division. You need to have better matches than what they're putting on right now, and you need to have better built characters in order to hold the belt.
Well, then they should have just kept it with Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler because they had personality. They were funny.
Nah.
I liked that. I thought they were funny. It was kind of...
You probably could have done something with the Riot Squad at some point,
well, they should have done something with the Riot Squad, but I just thought, Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler were funny because they both had, a love-hate relationship with each other. So I thought that was humorous.
Okay, yeah, and so that one finished up, and I jumped back in. I'm not going to lie. I had SmackDown on the TV, on the big screen, and then I ended up jumping over to AEW on the computer. I had both of them playing, but AEW was drowning out all SmackDown's sounds on there. So I came back right at the end with John Cena and Roman Reigns, and they come down. It was kind of loud. I missed a lot of the promos that they were giving, but summarize, and you guys have seen it all over. If Roman loses, Roman leaves WWE, which a lot of people are getting on to social media websites and saying, okay, well, now there's zero. You ruined the ending. Now there's zero chance that we think Cena's going to win because, for one, what does Cena lose if he loses?
What does he? Yeah.
He said that if he takes the title, he's going to CM Punk blow the kiss and run out of there. But there's nothing on the line for Cena. He has nothing to lose. He is going. Maybe he's not the 17-time champion. That's it though. He's coming in after being a part-timer, basically retired. He comes in, fights their biggest star right now. He has nothing on the line where he's not allowed to be in wrestling if he loses. I don't understand. So everybody's like, well, that just shows you right there. We already thought Roman was going to win, maybe a small sliver of a chance that Cena wins. Now Roman leaves wrestling, Cena's going to win.
Yeah.
My maybe on there. I don't think it's what's going to happen, but just to throw a little seed of maybe on it. Not to bring too much of the COVID downness to the world, but last time COVID started taking off, Roman Reigns had to leave for a significant amount of time.
For health reasons and stuff.
Because of his, previous health issues on there.
Yeah.
Maybe with the explosion and everything else happening, maybe Roman is looking at his own personal health and saying, I might need to take time to step away or do a couple.
Yeah, with the variant going around.
Correct. So that's the only piece of maybe I have for you. There's a lot of people saying, oh, he's going to leave and go to another promotion. Follow some of the other CM Punks of the world. Why would he ever leave when he is the biggest name in WWE right now?
Yeah.
I can't think of anybody that's more over than he is. Well, over, but he's a bad guy, obviously. But right. I can't think of a bigger draw for WWE right now and a bigger name that, Vince is pumping money into than Roman. He's not leaving to go to another venue, but he could be leaving for health reasons. That's the only maybe I have for you guys. On that, how do you think that plays out?
I think Roman Reigns is going to win.
I hope he wins because that's going to be...
I do too, although the record would be broken if John Cena...
That's so you have the health sickness, maybe I need to leave because things are getting a little crazy right now until things calm down. And
that brightness down.
You also have 17-time champion.
And maybe they want to break that record with Ric Flair.
The summer of Cena.
I don't know.
So I actually was kind of leaning a little bit more towards Cena, but maybe it's because growing up I'd never seen Cena lose. Big match Cena was always.
I hope, and I could honestly see
the winner.
The Usos getting involved. I could. They've gotten involved in every other match. Will. So I think Roman Reigns will win. If not,
okay. So
I'd be shocked.
Here's my play out.
Okay. Let's hear.
I have my prediction now. And now that you
He's much better. Just so you guys know, he is so much better at predicting this stuff than I am. I go with my imagination. Like,
Okay,
oh,
so
this is what I want to happen, and it never happens. So I'm not predictable.
here's my prediction, and it just popped in my head because you were saying maybe the Usos jump in. They probably will at some point. But going through our list, Finn Balor had a pretty good comeback, was supposed to be the person in the match. Got screwed out of a match. I thought he was going to be doing something with Sami Zayn. I'm not seeing a match with him and Sami Zayn on here. But
Yeah, I pulled it up, and I don't see any other additional matches, by the way.
okay, so does Finn Balor come back? He's kind of disappeared after he made his big comeback. He was supposed to sign the belt or sign the contract for the championship match.
Yeah.
Does Finn Balor come back and interfere and screw over John Cena? John Cena's about to win. Finn pops up, screws over John Cena because that should be Finn's match.
I could see that happening.
That's gonna be my prediction.
So you're going with Reigns winning now? You changed your mind?
I think Cena's gonna have everything ready to win, and Finn Balor is gonna come interfere, mess up John Cena. John Cena's gonna have everything in the bag, mess it up, and now it's going to bring you Balor versus Reigns.
I think it would be Balor versus Cena, and then Balor versus Reigns.
Probably, but
I could see it.
I don't know. I think that's what's going to happen. I don't know if it's a good decision. I don't know. I don't believe. It's not believable that Balor can beat Reigns to me.
But it's kind of like the Dolph Ziggler storyline, like the underdog kind of a thing.
Right.
I don't know. What match was that Dolph Ziggler won? Do you remember?
No, I know what you're talking. I mean, they do the underdog thing a lot.
It was like Survivor
That's kind
Series
of where,
or something like that. It was cool.
To me, that's where Balor would shine. Put him with your Dolphs. Put him with, Dolph Ziggler. Put him with the Miz on the other side.
No, I think Balor's meant for a championship. I think that I could
the
see
Intercontinental Championship. You got little Balor in there trying to go against these big guys.
Yeah, it's like David versus Goliath, man.
You can't. How many times are you going to replay that storyline with the champion at the time? Where are you going? You say Cena's going to win?
No, I told you I thought that Reigns was going to win.
With
and
the
that
Usos,
the Usos were
going to win it for him.
Yeah, I mean, they've gotten involved. And I would be like, I don't know, I could also see the Finn Balor thing, so.
So that's pretty much our SmackDown recap, because like I said, I missed a lot of SmackDown cheering on CM Punk, but those are going to be your big ones. We kind of talked a little bit about, where we're going to go with Edge and Seth Rollins. So let's really quick recap and just fly through these matches on here. Alexa Bliss versus Eva Marie with Doudrop.
Okay.
I gave my prediction before. Do you want to start with yours first?
Well, I just want to say that I'm going to be so pissed if Alexa Bliss loses. And my reason being is they have worked to kind of build her up as a cool character. So it would be almost like watching The Fiend again, where they build them up to be a really cool character just to have them lose to Goldberg. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know. There's certain people.
You can't lose to Eva Marie.
Right.
So my prediction on the Alexa Bliss one is that Alexa Bliss is going to win. I'm hoping some weird
Lily doll comes running down.
or Alexa Bliss turns into Lily or something like that. And I think Doudrop is going to...
I am the doll.
Well, I think Doudrop's going to beat up Eva Marie. I think Alexa Bliss is going to be like, woo, they're mine.
That's kind of what I was saying last time, and you said no.
Well, I agree now.
Now you're taking my whole idea from the last show and making it your prediction.
Yep.
So my prediction, I don't think she's going to turn into the doll, but I do think that...
Her gear was cool last pay-per-view. I hope it's really cool this pay-per-view. Sorry. Okay, I'll stop interrupting you.
I think that Alexa Bliss will win, but I think the big part of the show, you're obviously going to have some kind of Lily tie on there. I think the big part of the show is going to be Doudrop is going to be part of Alexa Bliss now, and she's going to be...
I don't think she's going to be the minion like you said she was going to be.
She's going to be the new Lily. It's going to be the Lily drop.
No.
That's what I think. Somehow Doudrop is going to, take over and be part of Alexa Bliss's team.
Yeah.
Next one is Drew McIntyre, Jinder Mahal.
I think Jinder Mahal's going to win.
Okay.
I think he's going to... I don't think it's going to be a clean win, but I think he's going to win because this whole entire time Drew McIntyre's kind of had the one up on him, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and what do they have? It's
they got
Shanky and Veer are barred from ringside, so it should just be Drew versus Jinder. Again, kind of like we were saying last time, I think McIntyre is going to win because I think he's still kind of high up on the list for people they want to push. They always want to keep him, going toward the title picture. I don't know what the advantage. Obviously, you have more matches coming, so in the series, Drew will probably come out ahead. Whether they have just this match or they have 3, McIntyre's probably going to come out ahead of Jinder Mahal, and I don't know what Jinder Mahal could really do after this battle right now. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty, but...
Well, that's why I think they could keep it going.
That's where, yeah, exactly. So if Jinder won, he could do it. I just want to see what, Big Sword Drew does. That's all I want to see.
Big Sword Drew.
I want to see him jump in that ring and swing that sword all around. Helicopter.
Oh, my. I'm sorry.
United States Championship, Sheamus versus Damian Priest.
So I think Sheamus is going to win, but I don't think it's going to be a clean win. I think The Miz and Morrison are going to interfere.
Yeah, there's going to be some...
I think all these things are going to be interferences, apparently.
No clean wins today.
No clean wins.
I think you do have something going on. It looked like The Miz and Morrison were going to start a somewhat feud because you had New Day dancing around in the background when they decided to kiss and make up. So, but there's probably going to be something.
Yeah, they were like, buy my shirts, buy my shirts, buy my shirts.
Yeah. So I think there's going to be something in there with Damian Priest and, Miz and Morrison. They've kind of led up to that.
Yeah.
I think they've been wanting to push Priest for a while. They're really trying to build him up.
I like his character a ton. Do you? I think it's really cool.
Yeah.
I like him.
I think I like Sheamus better, but they're really pushing Priest right now. I think he's pretty good on there. And
I like Sheamus too, though.
I think they finally wrapped the belt around Priest on this one. I think they're going to start the push with him. And once he finishes up with Sheamus, I think that's when they're maybe going to start pushing Morrison and see if that's going to be the first one.
I hope so.
Side note on Priest, I don't know if you've ever saw before, but I don't know how legit they are. There are photos of him online from years back, and he was a big boy. He was probably 350, 350. Big, heavy guy. Looked like, this dark-haired goth 400-pound dude. And they said that he just, busted his butt, and now he is, pretty ripped up. Yeah. Pretty nice body on there. But
that's a lot of hard work. Like, I lost 80 pounds this last year, and it was not easy by any means.
Yeah, and
that's hard.
Like I said, I don't know if it's really him or not, but there are a lot of before and after pictures, and it's pretty impressive. If that was him, good on him. That's pretty impressive on there. Jimmy and Jey Uso, we talked a little bit about that. Both of us seem like we think that the Usos are going to retain. A little bit different.
I think it's going to set up a storyline with Rey and Dominic.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was going. Was Rey and Dominic? I think they're going to pull them together somehow.
Yeah.
Your next one, AJ Styles and Omos versus Randy Orton and Riddle. Randy Orton and Riddle are going... I'm jumping ahead of you on this one. They're going to get the championships. They're going to have the belts.
I think so, too.
AJ needs to go on. I don't think that AJ and Omos are going to still be champions. AJ's carrying the team, obviously, there. Omos might be...
I don't know what their plan is for Omos. I don't know what their plan is. I just don't... What are they going to do with him if they lose the championship? What are they going to do with him?
He'll be the next, Big Show / Braun Strowman, big guy that kind of walks around, beats everybody, great Khali, etc.
Yeah, maybe.
Randy Orton and Riddle. I kind of talked about this in one of our last podcasts. I think it was in our intro, possibly. They remind me so much of the Rock and Sock connection from when I was younger. The Rock didn't want to be championship partners with him, Mankind would come in and he'd be all goofy. He's throwing the Rock birthday parties. Yeah. He's bringing in surprise stuff, kind of with that, Riddle, same type of thing where he's just like, man, I just want to be a friend. I just want to be here. Randy Orton's just annoyed, always wants to beat him up, but they work really well together in the ring and keep winning the championships.
Every time I see Randy Orton right now on the screen, I just want to be like, respect the stash.
Yeah.
Respect
Get
the
that
mustache.
Mustache.
Respect.
I think that's where it's going to go. I think they're going to win, and I think it's going to be good comic TV with good matches.
I agree with you.
Both Orton and Riddle are great wrestlers from the matches that I've saw from Riddle so far, while he's been here the last year or so.
Yeah. I agree with you.
They got a good draw there. We already talked about Reigns versus Cena, WWE Championship, Bobby Lashley versus Goldberg.
So,
without stealing the prediction that I've thrown out that you didn't agree with originally, give us your prediction.
So I think Lashley is going to win. I don't have really...
Bobby.
Yeah, I don't really have much to add to it. I don't understand the whole, let's bring Goldberg back. I don't think there was any, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think there was any real history between Goldberg and Lashley, and it's not like Goldberg's going to be there full time.
Goldberg's like...
I don't know.
They did the same thing with Reigns.
I would be surprised if Goldberg won, but it also wouldn't surprise me at the same time because they tend to give him kind of the easier wins, if you will. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if he's ready.
I'm kind of torn on that one.
I just hope he can, put on a good match, and I think that's why he was getting smaller. But
yeah, maybe. We'll see what happens.
Goldberg, it seems like now they're using him. They did the same thing with Reigns, but they use him as like a rite of passage. Once we think that you're at this level where you're getting really good, we're going to throw Goldberg out there real quick. Yeah. You beat him, and that solidifies you as a championship or as a main event champion.
Or they do something stupid where you learn, like, you lose to him. Like one spear, right? One spear.
Well, that's always been that's his character on there. You get the spear. His character has never been for long, good, great matches on there.
Because I'm like a fangirl for Bray Wyatt, so
right.
I'm
but
just saying.
His matches, same thing with Brock Lesnar. They F5, spear, done and over.
Right.
His character has never been built for these great matches. It's always intense. Come out here as tense as possible. Put on a crazy, intimidating show, and then end it.
Yeah.
Him and Lashley, hopefully they can do pretty good. It would be hard to do worse than your first Goldberg versus Lesnar that basically got booed out of the stadium on there. And that was supposed to be just massive in this great show, and they just sat there and bounced off ropes and bumped off of each other for a while. So as long as you can top that, you're doing okay, Goldberg, and as long as you're not, dropping Lashley on his head. I think that Lashley wins. Change that. I was going to say maybe Goldberg wins. At the end of the day, whoever wins, Big E is going to be the champion. He's going to go out there. He's going to cash in. Corbin's going to try and cash in. Big E's going to go take the Money in the Bank back and cash in on whoever wins. I went back and forth saying maybe Goldberg wins because he still has that, intensity, and they can still bring him back for other people because he won the match. You can still kind of put him out of there, keep Lashley in the picture.
Yeah,
so
that makes sense.
Anyways, final prediction. I've kind of gone back and forth just on here. Let's go. Goldberg wins. Lashley loses. Big E comes out and cashes in the Money in the Bank. Or Corbin comes out, then Big E comes out. Somehow Big E cashes in the Money in the Bank. Bianca Belair versus Sasha Banks. We already went over that. Yep. I think Sasha Banks wins.
I hope Bianca does.
Carmella and Zelina Vega.
I hope Bianca does.
Yeah.
Bianca's my girl. I like her.
And then, I don't know that we've covered the Raw Women's Champion.
I think Charlotte's
Nikki A.S.H. Versus Charlotte versus Rhea Ripley.
So I think Charlotte is going to win. I think they're setting up for Becky Lynch to return. That's my hope. I would love to see Becky Lynch return, but it would make more sense for her to return if it was against Charlotte because they have that history. She doesn't really have a history with Rhea Ripley or Nikki A.S.H. So
I think Becky still stays out. I think she stays home. I don't think she's coming back for a while.
Well, you're no fun, are you?
I'm going Mania time, but at least a couple more months. We'll see.
Maybe.
I do like her and Charlotte's Twitter battle going on right now. Charlotte said something along the lines a couple weeks ago that, Becky's not here. She's at home breastfeeding. I'm the one that's on TV. And Becky came back on Twitter and said, I'm at home breastfeeding and I'm still the most over woman in the division. So they have a couple good back and forths. That's the main one that sticks out in my head. So they got some good back and forth going. Mm-hmm. Be great to see her, I think. I still think Nikki Ash is going to win this. They're trying to really push her. I'm not saying I want her to win. I still don't like the character. But they're trying to do this. We have the little bit going away from the PG era. We're bringing the Brood back. We got Roman Reigns. We got all these guys that are going a little bit away from PG. Now let's make sure we keep the kids in there. And you can do anything if you put your mind to it, because Nikki Ash can win the title. And I think that they're really trying to push that character. I feel like once it starts getting a little darker and Nikki Ash starts losing and they get out of this character that they've been pushing, her with. Then you go Charlotte. Then you bring Becky back, and maybe by that time Alexa's back in the championship picture. But I think Nikki Ash leaves with the title today.
I hope you're wrong.
We'll see what ends up happening.
I hope I'm right.
So I believe SummerSlam starts in about an hour, yeah.
Let's see. I think the kickoff show starts in about 40 minutes. So.
We'll see if we're right. See what we're wrong about.
We never did. Oh, did we go over? Yeah, we did. I guess.
I think
Alexa, we did.
I think we hit everything on there.
Well then.
We'll see what else we end up kind of going over after that. We'll probably do a catch-up show or a quick summary as soon as SummerSlam's over, or first thing tomorrow morning.
Well, thanks for joining
CM Punk.
us. Thanks. See ya.